The era of experimental AI is over, but bringing it to an industrial scale is hitting a massive wall. Generative models can draft thousands of customized emails in seconds, but human legal and compliance teams read at the exact same speed they always have. The moment you connect an endless stream of AI generation to a manual review process, the entire system jams. You create a production backlog that halts enterprise workflows entirely. Industry efforts currently focus on building smarter, faster models to solve what is, at its core, a failure of infrastructure. Until organizations build the infrastructure to govern AI outputs in real time, they cannot deploy generative tools autonomously in high-stakes environments. This bottleneck has severe consequences for highly regulated industries like banking, insurance, and real estate. In these sectors, a single AI hallucination or poorly phrased sentence can trigger massive federal compliance violations, from fair housing issues to RESPA penalties. To avoid this risk, professionals default to the safest possible strategy: doing nothing. They intentionally leave their vast customer databases completely dormant, rather than risk communicating at scale. This defense mechanism creates a massive, hidden financial drain on the organization. This graphic illustrates the cost of ungoverned silence. An audit of a single agent's database over 12 months revealed over $1 million in lost seller-side commissions. The system monitored over 10,000 contacts, identifying 65 listings captured by competitors, while the database sat idle. Lack of governance turns a company's own database into a financial drain, with the cost of dormant contacts often exceeding the investment in the software itself. To solve this, we have to look at how enterprise software architecture has historically evolved. Computing paradigms only reach maturity when large, undifferentiated problems split into specialized, independent layers. Identity and endpoint security were once secondary features within larger suites. Today, companies like Okta and CrowdStrike operate as independent, category-defining infrastructure. At the top of the AI stack, you have enterprise applications. At the bottom, foundation models provide raw intelligence. The gap between them causes deployment failures. What is missing is the policy execution layer, sitting directly between enterprise data and the intelligence engine. This middleware acts as a compiler. It takes human-readable organizational policies, rules, required disclosures, and brand voice, and translates them into machine-executable constraints. Controlling how these systems interact is a durable structural position. Whoever builds this layer secures the most critical, currently unowned piece of enterprise AI infrastructure. The current industry standard for AI governance attempts to solve the compliance problem backward. Right now, most safety tools rely on Level 1 passive rules engines, or Level 2 reactive compliance checkers that scan content after it is generated. Level 2 waits for a risky message to be fully drafted before flagging a violation. Humans must manually review and correct outputs, destroying AI efficiency. Industrial scale requires a shift to Level 3. Policy execution becomes part of the generation loop, acting as a smart steering wheel. Instead of checking completed text, the engine shapes the draft during generation. The risk never materializes because the system removes it beforehand. A compliance scanner is just a dashboard warning light telling you the car has already crashed. Active execution is the steering wheel that ensures the vehicle stays on the road from the moment it starts moving. The core mechanism driving Level 3 execution is a conceptual compiler. It takes two distinct inputs: user intent and organizational policies. The compiler applies these rules while the message is being created, resulting in two outputs: safe communication and an automatic evidence log. We test this architecture in real estate, acting as a crucible due to its dense web of high-stakes federal and state licensing laws. A general model from OpenAI or Anthropic does not ship knowing the specifics of fair housing exposure neutrality or RESPA referral compliance. Those rules have to be strictly enforced on the fly. To achieve this, the engine uses a dual-layer strategy. An invisible, injection-resistant constitution layer applies all regulatory constraints, sitting directly beneath a blank canvas layer that preserves the professional's authentic voice. The agent types naturally, and the system executes the intent perfectly within WITHL boundaries. If generation time governance holds up in the hyper-regulated crucible of real estate, the architecture is structurally proven to secure communications in banking, insurance, and healthcare. Deploying this level of control inside a live enterprise environment presents its own set of challenges. The biggest barrier for IT architects is the immense cost, risk, and disruption required to rip out and replace their existing core systems. The solution is a strategic posture called incumbent neutrality. The system is designed to integrate seamlessly without displacing established software. As this diagram shows, the execution layer sits quietly behind the interfaces teams already use, directly routing governed actions into Salesforce, Follow-up Boss, and Gmail. By avoiding a direct battle for the interface, this positioning turns deeply entrenched applications into high-velocity distribution channels for the AI engine. This approach upgrades the infrastructure beneath the workflow, allowing the organization to evolve without the friction of a forced operational shift. This architecture is already operating in live production environments, delivering measurable financial returns. The execution layer recovered $10 million in sales volume, yielding 28 closed transactions with 0 new lead spend. These results rely on enterprise-grade infrastructure, deep integrations with IBM watsonx, a zero consumer lag Kafka pipeline, and Google OAuth Tier 2 security clearance. Furthermore, because every decision routes through this central engine, the system automatically generates an auditable evidence log for every message, providing the exact proof of reasonable control demanded by regulators. As foundation models commoditize into simple, interchangeable utilities, the true strategic value moves directly up the software stack. The defining enterprise moat of the next decade is the execution layer, the software that dictates exactly how the intelligence speaks.